Yes, I see. You got PP playing Harumachi. While you were farming, I was busy on the skill grind. Yesterday, I've seen your mom on double time. I squeeze my keys with ease with no C's on time freeze. I have the expertise and my homies agree. My freaky flying fingers ain't a joke, you know? They finna steal your girlfriend in just one stroke. Got the skills to pay the bills, I win and money appears. Haven't paid for my supporter for 3 whole years. Badgers, bags, and bitches, winning tourneys in my nature. Reppin' my bros, reppin' my hoes, reppin' my Osu Oregon gamers. Yo, meet up at 6, but do we go to Portland or way out in the sticks? Hey, I'll keep you all in the loop, but not before I give a big word to my boy Canned Fruit. Nice FC, yes I see. You got PP playing Harumachi. While you were farming, I was busy on the skill grind. Yesterday FC'd your mom on double time. I squeeze my keys with ease with no C's on time freeze. I have the expertise and my homies agree. My freaky flying fingers ain't a joke, you know? They finna steal your girlfriend in just one stroke. Got the skills to pay the bills, I win and money appears. Haven't paid for my supporter for 3 whole years. Badges, bags, and bitches, winning tourneys in my nature. Reppin' my bros, reppin' my hoes, reppin' my Osu Oregon gamers. Yo, meet up at 6. But do we go to Portland or way out in the sticks? Hey, I'll keep you all in the loop, but not before I give a big word to my boy Can Fruit.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to United States Cup 2024. We have yet another riveting day of matches for you all to extend off the weekend. Just like last week, we will be continuing all the way into both Monday, today, and Tuesday. We have a Wednesday at 30 UTC match. That is 30 past 0, not 30 UTC. So some extended weekend gaming for our participants here in United States Cup this year. We're starting it off strong here with a pretty good matchup. Maryland versus Oregon. Maryland, our 6th seeded team overall by BWS. Oregon, seed 11. This is a winner's bracket matchup as well, so one of these two teams will be sent to the loser's bracket packing after today. I will be Chili Repair, joined today by Hubba. How we doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. Excited for this one. Pretty interesting matchup for an early rounder. Maryland being the team that struck down Oregon last year in losers round 3. And they're probably going to be wanting to get their get back. They were seed 19 last time, and they've really upped their game here. Lots of new players. Eddie, Atomic Knight, and it's going to be Rinko as well for the team. Really going to be bumping up their game and hoping to get their get back after last year.
Yeah, big stuff for both of these teams. Both running with current OWC players on their rosters and some pretty good support on either side. Maryland running with actually even more than that. Their captain, Batball, winner of 4-digit World Cup for the United States last year, 2023.
And this year.
And this year. No, Batball did not.
I calmed it. They won.
Did Batball play this year, though?
Batball played this year, yeah.
Okay, so that badge is just not out yet. That's crazy. Yeah, I was going to say I thought Batball was there, but I was like, wait a second. But yeah, so Batball, very experienced, very skilled tournament player. Kama, of course, member of the United States OWC roster. Very skilled, very good at what he does. Very good, extremely good speed player, and then really good at some like awkward techie stuff as well. They're going to be joined by Taro, Kodama, Minus, and Gilgamesh 815. Taro also known for his speed, Kodama speed and consistency, and then Minus on top of that, even more speed and hidden ability there.
Yeah.
So a hell of a lot of good speed on this team.
Yeah, the speed picks are going to be their bread and butter, and of course the side specialists of some of those speed players. Kodama been warming up that hard rock ability, Minus, as you mentioned, on the hidden, and Gilgamesh, as well as Batball and Kama, going to be having a pretty sturdy reading roster on hand as backup.
That's Gilgamesh, easy player, by the way, for Maryland. Gilgamesh also participated for Maryland's 5-digit United States Cup this year, so really cranking it up to the actual United States Cup in terms of difficulty for them right now. But I think going easy on some of those free mods will be pretty big for them. Maryland going to be banning out the free mod 3 this week. But before we run out of time here, we also have Oregon on the right-hand side here. Boshiman, of course, our very own OWC participant, multiple-year participant now, joined by Rinko, Shirokane, Eddie, Yukina Simp, Chang, and Tile. All a couple returning players for Oregon here, but a few new faces as well. So a bit more to prove for them this year.
Yeah, definitely ramping it up on the mechanics side with Rinko, Eddie, and Atomic there. The big three going to be participating on most of these hard rock and double times. Tile also returning. Actually, one of 2 returning players. I think Chang is also new. Almost fully revamped Oregon this year.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh for them this year, so I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to do against an experienced Maryland team who, after talking up their speed, immediately goes into the DT2. I imagine that this is going to be a pretty strong point for them this evening, especially against Oregon running without a super standout, like, ultra-high BPM player, at least compared to Maryland. I mean, Boshi's certainly not the high BPM player you're looking for. Rinko Shirokane is more of a consistency stream player across the board there. I would say Eddie is probably one of the fastest players on the side of Oregon in terms of just overall raw speed. Yukina Simp, again, another like hard rock mechanics player, but not much speed. Chang is a hidden player, and Tile is more of, again, like a stream stamina player, nothing super high BPM. So the fact that a lot of these DTs this week are really kicking it up in BPM, especially with our DT2 this week being the lowest BPM DT at only 233 BPM, but still pretty up there, especially at 10.3.
Yeah, they really doubled up on the 10.3s here with the DT1 as well. Also bursty in its own point, but this one gonna be shorter of the 2, under a minute here. Gonna be a bit of a like harsh open for Maryland here, just opting for the quickest mechanics pick they could.
Well, short map, so any error here will be, unfortunately, probably the end of this map for either team that finds more breaks. 58 seconds, making this map 4 seconds shorter than DT3, which is the other shortest map in this pool. And I think the accuracy is going to be really telling here at the start. Tile and Rinko Shirokane already down and finding breaks. Batball, Kama, and Taro, 3 very good players at these like short, bursty, high BPM maps. They're already taking a massive lead.
Yeah, Batball and Kama gonna be holding on to their higher than 99. Taro's just 1% behind, but the comparison here, Tile gonna be down by 6, Rinko down to the 96, and Eddie in the 97. Oh! But they're disaster strikes. Taro and Kama also gonna be breaking. Kama with the second one, and combo advantage is to Oregon despite the accuracy qualms.
Wait, this is crazy for Oregon right now. Eddie still has a full combo, and Batball's the only one combating it. Luckily, he has a double S, which is going to hold on. But Rinko, Shirokane, and Tile both holding crazy combos right now. Batball can't do this by himself, and it goes over to Oregon. And Eddie with the full combo to match Batball and the better support. outdoes Maryland on pick number 1, and it's a break point to start off the match immediately for Oregon.
Yeah, that's the downside of picking something so quick. And one miss is all it takes, and your score gets shrunk by what would be like 500k. Like it's unbelievable how that occurred. They just both broke on the same note, and down they went. Just a one miss for Tile, one miss for Rinko earlier on, and Eddie carrying through for Oregon. First break point for them.
Talked about Eddie being really the one speed player that Oregon had, and he certainly came through with that full combo for them, but Rinko Shirokane really coming in clutch with that big combo afterwards. Huge condolences to Batball for that performance and still losing the map. A double S, and you still don't win the pick is absolutely tragic to see at the start, but that's what we talked about at the start of that map, right? It's whatever team finds those breaks, and unfortunately in this case, it was Maryland, and that is a bit of a rough start for Maryland, as Oregon has a couple of very polarizing skill sets available to them as a roster that they may be able to capitalize on here to consolidate that break point at the start of this match here. But that's 1-0 Oregon already, as Maryland, the higher seeded team, already concedes at the start of the match. And there it's free mod 1 picked out by Bashi for Oregon. It's now Su Obrigada.
That was excellent pronunciation. Yeah, this has been a very popular pick this weekend. Pretty untapped skill set, some snap, alt control, lots of high velocity sliders in this one as well. With the free mod, we've been seeing a lot of hard rock struggles, and interested to see our rosters for this one. Bashi's the only one in, as well as Batball here.
This is that kind of awkward, snappy cross-screen alt map, right? There's a couple of really quick between snap slider patterns mixed in with some lower intensity jumps in between, so it really is going to come down, I think, to the mod performances or the slider breaks on this map for either team. Bashi, man, gonna be huge to have on the hard rock on this map for Oregon here. I imagine on the side of Maryland right now, at least from the two players that I'm seeing in, will be Batball hard rock, or Hidden, Kama on the hard rock now, I believe, and then Kodama will probably be running the no mod. Tile or Eddie, I think, could potentially run the hard rock now, actually, that I see this roster. But Tile is a Hidden player. I think Tile could go Hidden and Bashi could go hard rock. Or the other way around.
Yeah, both of these teams pretty malleable in skill sets with these three-man rosters. Interested to see our mod collections. Bashi confirmed not with easy. Batball trying to call him to pick an easy. Gonna see if anyone goes for it, and will not be the case.
There's Bashi.
Nope. Huh. Bashi on the Hidden, Tile on the hard rock. Kama on the hard rock for Team Maryland. Kodama Hidden is pretty interesting, but maybe just the comfort difference, trying to keep Batball on the consistent mod. And that first break is going to be coming through from Tile here on a significantly lower accuracy, pretty much potentially tanking the hard rock here. We've been seeing a lot of break points on this map, actually, and on pace for that potential once again is Bashi also breaking, and it's only traded by Kodama. It's 2-1 on the FCs now.
Oh, Bashi finding another break there, unfortunately, on the Hidden. Not going to be doing them any favors. Kodama with the one and done for them. Tile down on the combo, not too far out, though. 130 combo left behind the rest of the pack here. Plenty of more sections to find either slider breaks or awkward snaps in here. I'm not expecting Batball to drop. If he hasn't dropped yet, it would be extremely surprising to see a massive downturn in performance at the ending of the map. It's basically a repeat from the beginning. But as long as Eddie holds this no mod full combo right now, this is still possible for Oregon if they get a breakout on Maryland here. Kama strong on the hard rock right now. Oregon needs to hope for a slip up for Maryland if they want to consolidate this break point. And there goes Tile, and unfortunately that may close it out.
Yeah, pretty solid recoveries on Bosch's. We do get the comma break, but it might be too little too late as Kodama has already acquired plenty of recovery of his own. And
Yeah.
4K up above Maryland, it's going to be breakpoint for breakpoint here in the early first two.
This is definitely over for Oregon here. Score lead is far too gone. Eddie once again matching up to Batball. These two have just been going at it so far in this match on the Nomad right here. Both of them locking in for their teams on this map. Luckily, Batball not unused in his performance here on this map, unlike last time. Doesn't put up the double S again, but still a very good play. One singular 100 for him and some exceptional stuff from Batball and the consistency today thus far. A singular miss for Kama on the Hard Rock, and Kodama having a little bit more trouble with the hidden, but still better than Tile on the Hard Rock for Oregon, which gives them that advantage overall. Oregon just finding too many breaks. They could not afford to have that Boshi miss. If Boshi was able to hold out for a little bit longer, well, that would have gone the way of Oregon, but you can already see that this match is not going to go the way that these teams want it to. And it's an immediate no mod 3 pick from Batball to come out there. It's the Earth. We're going into some gimmick here, and this is just going to be the Batball and Kama show here.
Yeah, I am unsure who the third man for this Oregon roster is going to be. I would imagine it'd be Boshi Atomic, but third is kind of iffy with these players. This one's going to be awkward Rhythm Alt, and Batball and Kama are probably going to run a train through it. Honestly, this should be their time to shine.
Well, we'll see. We've got some good players on Oregon for this skill set as well, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to be able to put up on this pool, especially against Maryland, who are quite good at this skill set. Like I mentioned, having Batball and Kama, especially the way that they usually play on these early stages, is going to be huge for Maryland to get this match back on track. Again, they lost a break point, but they got it back immediately afterwards. Now, to win this map would get this right back on track, as we see Chang, it seems, for Oregon now. So it's going to be Boshi, Eddie, and Chang, and then Gilgamesh in now for Maryland. Again, we kind of talked about Gilgamesh being that standout gimmick player left on their roster as an easy player, kind of what they have quite a few good scores on for. So we'll see if that easy ability translates to the Earth. A little bit more finger control oriented. Does require some aim control on here, but nothing too crazy. But again, eyes on Batball and Kama for Maryland right now to see if they can combat whatever Oregon's going to be able to put up and avoid another breakpoint.
Yeah, and they're already kind of showing Demon being able to SS the slow section. How do you do it?
Yeah. Well, this is the start of the map. In just a few seconds, we'll be getting into the rhythm control section here. And there it is. We'll see who has the most trouble on this map starting rather soon. And it's going to be Eddie. Low AC, low combo, but Batball to find a break to trade it out early here. It's Gilgamesh and Kama at the start for Maryland. Now, Boshi and Chang holding on. Rough accuracy on both of them compared to the players on Maryland. Nobody getting slow slidered on that. We've seen a couple people this weekend get caught out there, but the first section going neither way in particular. It's going the way of Maryland just on the accuracy alone from Oregon right now. Double 94 from them compared to all basically at 99.
Yeah, very comfortable for them, but a lot of these aim control patterns and overlaps can strike you out if you aren't ready for them. Maryland well practiced after that early Batball break, no qualms for them, and it's just an AC battle here. Over 150k of lead almost purely from the AC and almost matching combos. Boshi goes down. That's their biggest AC that they had. Unfortunately, that's a lot of potential score down, and Cheng also goes. That might just be it. Just a sliver of map remaining.
Yeah, unfortunately, Batball having a little bit more trouble on this map than he would have liked. Fortunately, Gilgamesh and Kama both coming up big for Maryland right now. Again, we talked about how good Maryland's roster was for these gimmick slots. And Gilgamesh, unfortunately, not going to be coming in with an FC. Is going to miss on basically the last breakable pattern of the map with that performance that he had there. But it looks like Kama Gonna be coming in through the wiggle at the end there. Gilgamesh gonna hit everything after that break, but Maryland clearing Oregon by about 500,000 score on that map. The FC from Kama coming up big. That's, 320k alone on Kama over the next closest player on Oregon, which was Boshi. The double 500k for Oregon coming in close. Again, pretty evenly matched. It's just the fact that Gilgamesh was able to put up a better performance than the third for Oregon there. And that is a real point on the board for Maryland. Finally, the first real point of the match.
Yeah, and now it's up to Oregon here. There is a lot of similar skill sets, or I would have imagined in any other matchup, Oregon probably could have picked that, but Maryland also very strong on these gimmicks. And in terms of their picks, I would imagine another Nomad, maybe a Nomad 5 Gambit is possible, just the standard snap alt after that Free Mud 1 pick from them. Obviously, on paper, very comfortable in that skill set.
100%. That was easily, Maryland, I kind of said it at the beginning of this match, right? Maryland is a state of extremes. They are very good at the polarizing skill sets. They're very good at speed, which is very telling, especially with the BPM of this pool. And they're also very good at gimmick and those more awkward skill sets. And those two skill sets are far and few between found, except on some of our highest seeded teams or teams that have an extremely good specialist roster in one way or the other. Unfortunately, Oregon is not particularly strong at either of those skill sets to one direction. Oregon actually falls more into the line of a just base mechanics team this year, despite the role that Boshi fills on the USOWC roster. You do kind of have to become a mechanics player in this match alongside the rest of the Oregon roster here, which is exactly why they're going for Fremont 2 for the consistency.
Yeah, this one mainly going to be aimed. There's a handful of bursts in here, but nothing that'll speed cap any of these players. A lot of it is going to be in who can aim these big 230 BPM jumps longer. And this is going to be the first map for Oregon where Boshi's not going to be in for this one. It's just going to be the three-man mechanics roster, Tile, Chang, and Rinko hopping in.
Yeah, this is pretty accessible map, all things considered. I'd say the Nomad players and the hidden players are going to actually have a pretty good, time on this map. It really does come down to that Hard Rock performance, right? And for Oregon, this is their pick. I imagine they're extremely confident on this, but if I'm Tile having to go up against Kama on Hard Rock, well, that makes most people nervous. So, it's a big start that Oregon's going to need on this map here. Chang on the hidden, Rinko Shirokane on the Nomad to go up against Kodama and Taro, respectively, here. But again, I'm expecting most of the difference to come out potentially on either of these mod slots. Nomad, extremely accessible on this map overall if you are confident with mechanics. But it's Oregon. They need this point to get on the board to keep this match even. Otherwise, this is a best of 9, and going up 3-1 for Maryland, while it isn't the end of the world for Oregon, does put Maryland on their own pick, potentially looking for 4-1, and then things start to get out of hand. So Oregon, they really would love to get this on the board. Unfortunately, Rinko Shirokane not starting off quite as strong as they need to on the Nomad. Kama, however, and Taro, both finding breaks at the beginning. This is exceedingly surprising start for both teams.
Yeah.
Not the hard part.
Very out of character for the three players who broke here. The two Nomads and the Hard Rock for Kama. Tal still holding on with 99.5. Kama, I believe hasn't had a 100 yet, just that one miss. But it will be an early advantage to Oregon. This is one of the longer maps in the pool, so those misses might not matter too much as we haven't hit one of the harder KIs. We're going to see how these players hold on. But early advantage to Oregon as two of their FCs go down. It's only Kodama holding on there on Maryland.
That is a crazy start for both sides here. Luckily for Maryland, the accuracy on their team, as we've seen over the course of this entire match, sitting higher overall, which is actually going to keep the score gap extremely close as Chang finds a break. And now it's Maryland with a massive combo advantage as Tile finds a miss as well. And Oregon has fallen apart immediately at the start of the big KI.
Yeah, and it's just this consistency difference again, it seems. Kama and Taro recovering night. What the river slider for Kodama? Oh, the FC is down.
I saw someone break on that yesterday, too.
But now it's 2 big combos to the 1 on Rinko. Cheng has 100 combo of his own, but not enough to match the double that Taro and Kama pulled, both holding 99.7 AC of their own. And just with that, almost 100k of lead coming out of that first GI.
Rinko, not half bad on the accuracy right now for the Nomad. Definitely where they need to be for this performance, but they also really need to be on an FC. Luckily, Rinko, with the earliest miss in the entire match here, unfortunately finding a lot of 100s on that stream there. Luckily, Taro finding a couple as well, but again, it's Kama with an uncontested 700 combo right now. Cheng finding a second break, and there goes Rinko Shirokane, and Oregon's hopes have been crushed for a point here as Taro and Kama continue to find the combos. It's a 300,000 lead virtually for Maryland. It will certainly increase to beyond that, barring any more breaks here. And again, we talked at the start of the match about this potentially being a difference between the mod players, and well, it's a little bit the mod right now on the Hard Rock. Kama going to well outscore Tile, and Taro going to be very far outscoring Rinko Shirokane. Kodama and Cheng pretty close.
Yeah, close in the combo, but the act difference as well as just a 1 miss for Kodama. He's almost at 500k to Cheng's 400, and that's really showing in this big lead now, 400, 500k and climbing. Kama breaks, that is a little bit of an opening. They just need Taro now, and
you need everyone on Maryland.
Actually, yeah, I just realized how little map is left. That's not, never mind.
They need a 3-way break, like 15 seconds ago, unfortunately, I think. But Taro, an extremely good mechanics player, doesn't always have the consistency, but he certainly has found it on this map right now. And some exceptional stuff from the Nomad player where they absolutely need to be. Taro coming up big with this 1400 plus combo for them. Kodama not half bad on the hidden as well, also going to be going above 700k. Oregon, once again, their highest score on their team, going to come up just barely over 600k. And the accuracy on Maryland as well, that is a 3-way 99+% accuracy compared to not a single player on Oregon being able to hit that mark. That is just overall team confidence from Maryland right there. That depth showing through. And Oregon is going to come up short on their own pick, and now Maryland has the opportunity to force match point on their own map.
Yeah, their only point thus far being the first pick of the map, the first break point, that DT2. What if that's an opening for, like, what if they just pick DT1 next? just because they've found success there in the past. But they're going to be opting for Nomad 1 is Maryland. The longer mechanics pick, lots of bursts and snap aim to be found here.
This is Maryland going into Oregon's game right here. This is them picking straight into the mechanics, the bursty aim consistency, Nomad 1 here, and with Maryland having a combination of minus Batball, Kama, Taro, basically anyone you can think of for this skill set, this is going to be a ridiculously good map for them, I imagine. Oregon, not really the tapping state in my mind, and while this map doesn't have a whole lot of stamina, the amount of bursts in this map and the aim consistency that you need in between them is going to make this just slightly favored towards Maryland in my mind.
Yeah, I would imagine so, and you said that they're playing their game. Well, Oregon just picked 2 mechanics free mods in a row, and Maryland won both of them, so, I mean, and perhaps their game has just turned into Maryland's game.
Maryland's a good team. Again, once you start to hit these top 8 rosters in USC in round of 16, you know, where you see these teams kind of roll through, there is really, you know, even against teams that are seeded somewhat close to them, this like massive difference, especially in United States Cup, which is generally a fairly top-heavy tournament. You know, the top like 6 to 8 teams are generally a good bit stronger than the teams that are not within that range. And, you know, you're very much seeing the culmination of that this weekend. I mean, we've seen a lot, like basically every single team in the top 8 this weekend that has played so far has either, I think, 5-0'd or 5-1 to their matches. So, you know, that statement does unfortunately reign true even for team, you know, states with good rosters like Oregon, as Tile finds an early break on one of these triples.
Yeah, plenty of time to recover though, although another break comes through for him, and that will be making things a little bit harder. This map going to be one of the longest that the pool has to offer. But this big slider section has the chance to knock some off, just not the ones that Oregon needs. Is Eddie also finding the break here? Rinko the only one holding on for that team.
Well, that is all of Maryland making it through the slider section. Unfortunately, Minus going to find a hell of a lot of over-aims on the next triple section. I was going to say Maryland made it through one of the most breakable parts of the map there, and they probably had a good bit of combo. But with Batball and Minus breaking on the section after, this unfortunately doesn't give Oregon a huge avenue in because they don't have any player matching up to Taro's FC right now. But it certainly is far better off for them than it would have been otherwise. Taro looks so consistent on the free mod too. This is Taro's skill set. This tapping mechanic style of map, this is him through and through right now. And he's going to be able to do massive things for Maryland.
Yeah, the only big combo remaining, Eddie on a mild recovery, but nothing else really compares to Taro doubling up on the next best combo available on Oregon, and you'd be hard-pressed to see him break here with accuracy like this.
Yeah, I mean, again, Taro, such a strong stamina player, such a strong mechanics player. He is just going to have absolutely zero trouble on these bursts. Now, I don't know if Taro's going to get hit with the, you know, like tapping player getting caught on aim thing, which has happened before, especially on some of these fast slider patterns, but he just looks far too comfortable right now, not dropping any hundreds off the board here. So confident through these burst sections. We've got massive combos being built up on Oregon right now, but unfortunately, they're going to need another
Oh, the reverse!
Breaks on nothing! What? Whoa!
And he had 1K combo. We are 2/3 in, though, with how long this map is. Their score lead, they only built up 100K. And that's 3 big near 1K combos to the 2 that Maryland have built up on Batball and Minus. If either of them break, it will be just sending it much quicker. But Oregon, Rigo goes down. It's 2v2 situation here. Eddie on a little bit more than Minus, but any break will matter.
Well, they needed Rinko to hold that combo. If Oregon was able to pull the score lead back before Rinko found a break, I would have said that they would have been able to potentially win this map. But Eddie and Tile can only sit and hope that Minus, Batball, or Taro find a break. Obviously, one of those big combos finding a break would be more desirable. But as we come into the final aim and burst patterns of this map, they are running out of time. I don't see any big reason for a break on either side here. Anything can happen, but I think the map is just over. It is 150,000, and there is simply not enough note density at the ending of this map unless we see a triple break from Maryland. Oregon, they could have made it work, but one miss is all it takes, and the consistency on Maryland brings them into the finish with the massive combos on Batball and Minus. Taro held out as long as he possibly could, and it actually saved Maryland.
And speaking of consistency, Batball again, 99.9 on a map like this is unbelievable. Taro was also close to it, just a couple 100s at the very final stream. But the Maryland, with these outstanding performances, going to be bringing this one to match point, and Oregon, to bring it to tiebreaker, needs 3 in a row.
Yeah, this is that story that we were telling earlier, right? If Oregon lost their pick when they were at 2-1, then it pushes it to 3-1, and then Maryland wins theirs, and then it's match point to 1, and then Oregon is very far down. Again, best of 9, not a whole lot of leeway here, and letting up more than 1 break point is unfortunately not an avenue that you can go into on a match like this, especially against a team like Maryland with the consistency that they have. And the fact that they are the higher seeded team in this match, you know, Oregon really, really needed to come with their A game today. And unfortunately, not seeing that through every single slot, tragically. Boshi maybe going to go for the DT3 here. I'm wondering if he's going to go for it. He said something that really makes me think that he's going to pick the DT3. And I got a feeling, Boshi, let me see it. Let's see it come out right now. Come on. Do it. You know you want to.
Georgia didn't do it. We need somebody to do it.
Picking it into Maryland would be terrifying, though, but I think it would be kind of a crazy move. Oh boy, come on, Bashi, do it. Kick the DT.
Oh.
He didn't. He went for the no mod 4. We're going back into the.
Toxin.
All right. I'll accept this as an alternative pick. I see it. I see it.
I see the vision. I believe in the vision.
Oh, this is going to be absolutely ridiculous for Oregon. Maryland has had the accuracy lead on literally every single map that has been picked in this match thus far, and on the consistency. So, bless up for Oregon on this map. You've got a serious run ahead of you.
Yeah, they're going to be having probably a handful of different players here. Kodama going to be playing this one. Makes a lot of sense. That guy is more of stamina than speed for this team. He can do the higher BPM stuff, but very consistent with his tapping on this one. Surely Bashi doesn't play this.
Oh, Bashi's a stream player. Bashi will rock this.
Bashi rock this?
Oh yeah, Bashi will rock 180 BPM. This is free for Bashi.
I see. But Maryland, just waiting on our final two here. Tile and Eddie makes plenty of sense, but gonna have to scramble here. I doubt Kama plays this.
I see a world where this is like Bat Ball as a third, probably.
Oh, he does.
Oh, it is Kama. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, Kama doesn't surprise me at all. The fact that he wasn't in immediately made me think that it could potentially have been Bat Ball, because Bat Ball has been so good on the accuracy today. It was less about the fact that Kama can't play this, which he absolutely can. I mean, 180 BPM is literally nothing to Kama. The thing that I worry about for Maryland on Kama and Taro potentially is like, or more so on Taro than Kama, is overstreaming. 180 BPM is pretty low for Taro. Kama is like the king of accuracy most of the time. You know, this match today has actually been some of the lowest accuracy I've seen from Kama in a long time, but there it is, Taro overstreaming right out of the gate. But Rinko Shirokane also going to be doing the same. So it's 1 SS to 2. Bashi not too far behind, but Rinko Shirokane already putting Oregon pretty far behind.
Yeah, the reason why I was surprised to see comment for this one, because the meme that he mainly plays finger control, doesn't play a whole lot of streams, but seems to
you have to control your fingers to not overstream.
Oh, and he is certainly doing so now, or trying to, kind of closing it up here. Rinko still a bit below. It's really just him. Everyone else looking solid. 99.7s on multiple players.
I mean, Rinko is never going to catch up to the pack, unfortunately. That was just far too many hundreds at the start of this map to ever catch up in terms of accuracy. So the only thing that Oregon can do right now is hope that we see some accuracy drops on Maryland to match up with those. All SS is gone besides Kodama, who unironically is probably the best player in this lobby for this skill set. But Rinko, again, sitting at that 97. There goes Eddie dropping a couple hundreds as well. Not going to be doing Oregon any favors. And as long as Kodama holds this SS, I don't think there's a way that Oregon comes back into this unless Taro or Kama absolutely flops the ending of this map. We only have a quarter of the way left to go. And someone would have to like jump a stream here or just completely mistap. Maybe get wootinged. I don't know. Double tap. Something would have to happen to like absolutely tank a Maryland score right now, and it would probably have to be a miss.
Yeah, and if just a sliver of map remaining, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Unfortunately, the most anticlimactic way for this match to end, but it will be a repeat of last year. Maryland is going to be winning this one 5-1 and closing it out against Oregon in this winner's bracket.
Well, unfortunately, even if Rinko didn't drop those hundreds at the beginning, it still would have basically been a lost battle there. Eddie, 22 100s as well, to a single-digit 100 count from the entirety of Team Maryland. 6 for Kama and 2 for Taro, and an SS on Kodama. And the 6th seed lives to play another day in the winner's bracket of United States Cup 2024. They will be advancing to face off against Florida in the quarterfinals. So that is the entirety of the lower half of the winner's bracket decided now. It is the 2nd-seeded Texas versus the 7th-seeded New York, and the 3rd-seeded Florida versus the 6th-seeded Maryland on top. Those are two absolutely ridiculous matchups for quarterfinals that you all are not going to want to miss for next weekend. Oregon is down, but they're not out. They fall to the losers bracket to face off against the winner of Connecticut versus Colorado, which will be decided in approximately 18 minutes from now. That's 2 UTC. That will be 7 p.m. Pacific and 10 p.m. Eastern.
The quick maths. Yeah, I'll be moving down there to the B stream to combat one with Miles, and you'll be sticking around here for South California.
South Korea versus
South Korea versus
Minnesota.
South California versus Minnesota, also at 2 UTC. So stick around for these two matches. You're not gonna want to miss them.